They say that the first thing an AI bot will tell you is that it's not an AI bot. And then I heard that the first thing, or we all know, right? That the first thing a crook's going to tell you is that they're not a crook. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm not a cult leader. My name is Aislynn Campbell. And I am the Chief Inspiration Officer for Freedom Harvest Farms in Taft, Texas. I am also a professional gardener, and when I come, I like to talk about seasons and things like that. And so I'm going to talk about that. But if you guys ever want to come out and garden with me, please do. I have on January 10th and the 11th a women's healing retreat coming up. It's an overnight camp out, which, by the way, if you like to camp out, I do. Have y'all ever heard of Hip Camp before? Hip Camp is like Airbnb, but you rent a spot on people's private property, and you can do it all over the world. So it's kind of super cool if you didn't know that. And originally, it was started in California in order to help farmers, because we're trying to keep people, family, homesteaders, on their actual land, so that they can on the land, so that instead of corporations on the land, let's put it that way. And so it's an opportunity for us to make a little bit of extra income. So if you ever want to camp out on a cool ass farm, hit me up. So, okay, let's do this. This is called Welcome Back to the Garden. This morning I was harvesting, not in a rush, just moving slow enough to notice where I was standing. The garden was quiet in that way winter gets when it's quiet. Not dead, just listening. And there it was, a spider web, stretched between two celosia. Hot pink spires rising out of damp soil like a signal fire. Each thread holding dew, each drop breaking the light into 1,000 small yeses. I stopped, because that's the practice now. Stopping long enough to see what's actually here. The web wasn't announcing itself. It wasn't asking for attention. It was just doing what it does. Holding tension, holding form, holding space. Earth below me, firm, patient, still producing even as the day shortens. Water, everywhere in the soil, in the air, beaded on silk threads, the tiny mirrors saying, look closer. Air moving through the garden, not loud, not dramatic, just enough to remind me that everything is in motion, even when it looks still. And fire, not the burning kind, the calling kind. The kind that lives in color, in pink spires that catch the eye of the passing insect, in the spark that says, come this way. 4 elements, not as a theory, as choreography. And then there's us, standing in the middle of it all with 6 senses, all online. Seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, and that 6th one we pretend we don't have, but use every single day. The one that knows. This is the darkest stretch of the year. The days are short. The mornings are slow. My roosters don't even crow on time anymore. And that used to scare me, the silence, where the sound should be. But now I understand it. Everything is conserving. Everything is listening. Everything is responding to the same signal. And we are not separate from that. We just forgot how to notice. We built systems that demand production without rest. We built lights that stay on all winter long. We built schedules that don't care what the land is doing. And then we wonder why we're exhausted, why we're disconnected, why we feel like something is wrong but can't name it. Nothing is wrong. We're just out of sync. And the garden never was. It knows when to slow down. It knows when to hold energy underground. And it knows when to wait. The spider, she didn't build her web for productivity. She built it because that's what life does. It weaves. Connection, tension, beauty, function, all at once. And this is what intentional community looks like. Not people performing closeness, not everyone agreeing to the same rules, not constant output. It looks like showing up awake, like noticing what season you're in, like knowing when to speak and when to be still. It looks like standing together long enough to feel the ground underneath our feet and remember that abundance doesn't scream. It glows. So tonight, on the edge of the solstice, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to invite you to notice. Notice what's slowing down in your life. Notice what's asking you to rest. Notice what's quietly weaving connections that you didn't plan. Because the light is coming back. It always does. But first, we honor the dark. Not as something to fear, but as the space where vision sharpens and roots remember what they're for. This is the season of listening, of tending the unseen, of trusting the web. And if you feel it, that hum, that resonance, that yes in your body, it's not your imagination. That's memory. Welcome back to the garden. Thank you. I didn't mention this earlier, but I have been posting, and I said that I was going to, not every day, but damn near, every day I do a daily transmission. It's what I'm learning from the garden. It's what I'm learning from bringing that expanded, like, spiritual concept into practicality. So if you're, and also all of my, I wouldn't say it's, politics is politics. World is politics. That's what it is. We can't pull ourselves out of politics. We can pull ourselves out of the red and blue, though. And so what I'm going to say is that there is a lot of that. There are my opinions about how we can move forward in this system that is essentially eating us all with no regard for us. Anyways, I'm doing all of that on YouTube. It's very easy to get a hold of. I would love it if you would, if you're into subscribing and all that kind of stuff, please subscribe and check out what I'm doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.